There is so much focus on a lot of the equities. I know you're on the other side, but it's taper. It's actually what's happening with the debt ceiling. It's what's happening in China. What happens if all things that could go wrong go wrong?
Well, we like to be longer-term investors, so we're not going to get too concerned about a little bit of wobble over a day or two. I think that the main theme this week is really about central banks. It's going to be about, does the Fed announce when they will discuss the taper? Will they announce the taper? We think that we'll probably will start tapering later this year. And when you have the U.S. tapering into 2022, and you also have the ECB tapering into 2022, it does bring up this question of we've had this massive printing of money for several years now coming to an end. How is that going to impact markets? And I think that's one of the bigger areas that people need to be focused on.
So where do you then pin the balance of risk heading into this FOMC meeting, David? Is it about the dot plot? Could that be what shocks markets today?
Well, I think two things. One, it will be the dot plot, whether or not we see that there's more hikes in for 23, or if any are dragged forward into the end of 22, because that would really determine how quick the taper will have to be. But I think that the big one will really be Powell, and how does he try to massage the market with his statements after they've put out what they're going to do.
David, when you look at the sea of red right now in markets, and I know you're focused on European fixed income and maybe your longer term, but what is the market actually worried about? What's going to be their main focus over the next 2-3 weeks?
Well, I think that we have several geopolitical issues, such as China, what is going on there. I think that could potentially have longer-term problems, but over the next couple of weeks, not that big of an issue. I think that the energy prices in Europe is actually something a lot of people are focused on, as we already have elevated inflation in Europe and in the UK and the US. And if we start to see that energy prices continue to go up, while that could be seen as a one-off, it will be on top of already elevated inflation, and it will start to bring up the question, is this inflation maybe a bit more durable than originally thought? And so then how do central banks react to that?